Hi everyone, this is Anjali and welcome to the channel. So today we are going to do more in Python. Like we are going to start how to write a complete program in Python language today. So in the previous class we did what are the Python basics, like how can you create variables, how can you put value in that, and we just tried to print the thing on the screen. We saw how to use interactive mode in Ideally. Interactive is like the way you write command and it gives you the result at the same time, right? So today we are going to do how to take input from the user, how to perform calculations using different operators, as well as how to write a program in script mode. So let's start with the very first thing. And that very first thing is like last time we wrote a program or we wrote a code where we can, take two values and we can just add it up and we can print it, right? But any number of times you execute this set of statements, you're always going to get 25 as up because I have given a fixed set of numbers. So I don't want to have this fixed set of numbers. What I want is that since I'm making a program for someone else, right? I'm making a program for the user, so user should be able to give me the input. User should be able to give me the numbers on which I'm supposed to work, right? So user should be able to give me the numbers on which I have to work. And for that, we have a statement called input. So like in Python, we have a statement called print, which helps you to print something on the screen. Similar way, you have a statement called input, which helps you to read something from the user. How do we write it, right? The syntax of that input statement is that you write down the variable name in which you want the value to be there, and then equal to, we write the function name that is input. We start the round brackets, and in double quotes, you write the message. So if you want to say like enter your name, enter marks, whatever message you want to write, you write it here. So that message will appear on the screen, and whatever value I enter after that message, that goes to this particular variable. Now, while working with such a thing, we have one major problem, and that major problem is that input reads everything as a string. So we discussed the data types in the previous class. So whenever you input a value, it comes as a string into the variable. So when you take a value, the variable becomes of type string. Now, the problem is that strings cannot be multiplied, right? If you use plus sign with strings, you won't get any error. But what will it do? It will concatenate. I'll show you how to write a program using that, and then you'll see how it creates a difference. And then we'll be obviously discussing what is the solution to that. Like how I can make it possible that I don't take value as a string or taking it as an integer or a float or whatever data type I want, right? So I hope all of you have installed Python by now. So everybody has installed Python. So this is your interactive mode where we worked last time. Like if you write A is 90, B is 20, and we write C is A plus B, and we print C, you get 110. Now, I'll show you another thing. Let's say I have P and I put 90 in quotes. So I told you whatever is in quotes is treated as a string in Python, right? Then I write Q is equal to 20. And then I write R is equal to P plus Q, right? And I'm going to print here R. So if I do that, I'm getting 9020, right? Which we should not get because we want to add the numbers. And what it is doing is it is joining the numbers. It's concatenating. So in technical terms, we call this term as concatenation. So it is concatenating the values. We don't want to concatenate. We want to add the values. So if you want to add the values, it has to be integer form, then only it will add it. Moreover, if you try to multiply this, if you write p multiplied by q, you will get error because strings cannot be multiplied. So if I want to write a program with the help of input statement, so I'll go to file. In file, there is an option for new file. This is how we write the script mode. So script, we have script for plays, we have script for movies, right? What do we mean by script? That we have a set by set, a step by step procedure, like this person will enter now, this person will speak a dialogue, then the other person has a dialogue. In script, if you have ever seen, it is even written when you have to take a pause, when you have to walk certain steps. Everything is mentioned in the script. So script is step-by-step explanation of the task to be done, right? Similar way, when I have a number of statements to be executed and I want them to be executed in a particular order, we write a script for that, and then that is executed, right? So how do we write it? Now, instead of putting a fixed number into A, I want to take input from the user. So I write input, enter, first number. So this is the message I want to show. And there is no rule for the message. You can write small, capital letters, symbols, whatever you want in the message. That message will simply be printed on the screen, right? Then I say enter second number. I take second number. Then I write C is equal to A plus B, and then we print the value of C. So this is a script. I wrote 4 statements, but none of the statements has executed so far because it's a script. It's not intermediate mode. Now I'm going to save it. So when I save this, I save it with any name. Let's say I save it with the name sum2 and I run it. So for saving, as you have to save as you save your normal files, but the extension of a Python program will be .py. Like if I save a file in Notepad, its extension is .txt. If I save a file in Microsoft Word, it's .doc or docx. Same way PPT in PowerPoint. Similar way here, when you save a file, a Python file has an extension of .py, right? So I save it. Then there was a run menu. From there, I execute it. You can also press F5 as the shortcut key. I press the number as 800 and the second number is 450. And my result is showing me the concatenated value. It's not adding the values. It's concatenating. If I would have used multiply, divide, or minus, I will get error because that operation is not possible with strings, right? But plus will perform concatenation. Now, how to solve this? I am getting a value which is of type string, always from input function. So even if you're entering numbers, input will always give the result as a string. I want to change it. So that is possible with the help of type conversion, or you also call it type casting. How do we do that? We write int before the input function and put the whole thing in the round brackets. So this says whatever input is giving you, convert it to integer and then put it in A. Similar way I do for B. So I write int, enter second number. So whatever input we are getting, we are converting it to an integer first and then it will be assigned to B. So now A is an integer value, B is an integer value, and when you add, it will not concatenate, rather it will properly add the values. So I'm getting 200. And now I can multiply, divide, or whatever I want to perform. I can do that. I won't get any error. So I can even write as sum is C, then D is equal to A multiplied by B, and then I can print product is D. Then you can take E is equal to A upon B, print quotient. After division, we get quotient. So quotient is E. If you want to subtract also, so A minus B, and I can print difference is this. So we print it all, save it, execute it. So I'm going to enter 2 numbers. So you can see I'm getting the sum, that is 175. Product is 6600. Quotient is 2.181818 and all. Difference is 65. Now quotient is coming up to 12 digits of decimal if you count. So why 12 digits? Because it is stored in a double format. So that takes 12 digits after the decimal. Or is it more than 12? It is 16 digits after the decimal. 16 digits after the decimal it is taking, right? So this is how we can convert a type. So we have converted to integer. We have options. We have various options for type conversions. Like if you want to convert a value to integer, we write int and the value inside. If you want to convert to a float, you write the value inside. Then you can convert into a string, and you can also convert into a Boolean value, right? So Boolean value, like if I write bool 5, so it will give me true. It will give you false only if you have a 0 or you have blank string, means you don't even have a space in this. Quote start, quotes end, nothing in between, then it's false. If any value is present, bool will give me true. Only in the case of 0 and a blank string, it gives false. Otherwise, it will always convert to true. str will convert any other type of value, be it a integer number or a float number, it will convert it into a string. And this will convert to integer, this will convert to float. For these, it's very important that the value given here must be of valid type. Like if I have int and I give ABC, so obviously I'll get an error because ABC cannot be converted to an integer. So it has to be an integer value, but in quotes so that it's converted to an int. So if it is something else, you'll get an error over there. We will not be able to convert it. So these conversion functions are available, but the values should be matching. Otherwise, we will not be able to convert. So this thing is called type casting or type conversion. So this is how we can write a very basic program in Python, right? So you can input anything, you can calculate it, and you can print it. Now, in all this thing, you saw how to input the value, you saw how to print the value, and we used some of the operations. Like I just showed you plus, minus, multiply, and divide. These are called arithmetic operators. So operators are the symbols which are used to perform operation on the values, right? So they are of various type. So we have one category as arithmetic operators. Python provides you 6 arithmetic operators. The first one is this double star, which is the highest precedence or highest in the hierarchy, which is called as exponent. Then I have multiply, divide, double divide, mod, plus, minus. So 7 operators in total you have, which comes under the category of arithmetic operators. Now this is exponent. This sign is multiply, this is divide. Now these two signs are new that I'll show you why do we use it. Then we have plus minus, that is simple addition subtraction, right? Why have I made 3 levels? Because this is the hierarchy or precedence of operator. Like in maths you have BODMAS. Over here we follow hierarchy or precedence of operators. Like if in an expression we have all these operators, so first of all exponent should be solved. So wherever there is exponent, that should be solved first. So at first exponent will be solved. So exponent will be solved at first, then it will solve any of these 4, whichever comes first from left to right hand side. So it will go from left to right, whichever comes first is the one which will be evaluated first. Once all these are done, then it will go for plus and minus, right? Now, this is multiply, this is divide. What is this? Now, why do we need these 2 operators? Because if you have 7 into 5, it gives you 35, right? If you write 7 upon 5, so it will give you 1.4, right? So I get 1.4. That's proper division. But at times, I might require to get the quotient and the remainder separately. I don't want the proper division. I don't want that I should get a proper result after a proper division. I want that I should get the quotient separately and I get the remainder separately. How is that possible? So we write 7 mod 5. It will give me 2. If I write 7, 2 slashes 5, it will give me 1. So percentage sign is also called as modulus or remainder operator. It's there in almost all the languages. We have it in C, C++, Java, Python, JavaScript. So everywhere you can use percentage sign for remainder or modulus. Double slash is only there in Python for proper division. Because in C, C++ and all, this division does not give the answer in points if your values are integers. So if the values are integers, result will be 1 in case of C, C++ and all. But here in Python, if I use single slash, I get proper division. So 7 upon 5 is going to give me 1.4. I'm getting the proper result over here, right? So if I want separate quotient and remainder, I have to use these symbols over here. So double slash is to give you the quotient, percentage is to give you the remainder. So if I have 10 percentage 2, I'll be getting a 0, right? If I have 10 upon 3, I'll be getting 3, not point anything. So it will be just 3. So this is how it works. So this is how we get the result of operators. And it's very important that how they are evaluated. So you have to remember which operator has to be solved first. So if this is the expression, first of all, we have to solve this, which is 3 raised to the power 2, 9. Then we are left with this. Now 7 into 9, that is 63, plus 9 upon 2, which will be 4, because it's 4.5, but we have two slashes. So we will be taking 4 only, and then it will be added, and you get 67. So this is how it is evaluated. In many of the examinations, you can be asked like this, that they give you an expression and they ask you that solve it. So you have to show steps and solve it, that what result you get out of it. Fine. So if you anyhow want to override this default precedence of operators, we always have the parenthesis, the round brackets, right? So if I have 7 into 3 plus 5 into 4, but I want that 3 and 5 should be added first. Normally, 7 into 3 will be done, 5 into 4 will be done, and then it will be added. But now I put brackets here. Since I've put brackets here, so 3 plus 5, 8 will be done first, and then it all will be multiplied to get the results, right? So we can always use round brackets to override the default precedence. So whatever will be in the brackets will be solved first, and then normal hierarchy will be followed after that, right? So that is arithmetic operators. After arithmetic operators, we have the relational operators. As the name says, relational. So they're used to check the relation between two values, and they're used to create Boolean expressions. Boolean expressions are the expressions which can result only in true or false, right? So greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, and not equal to. These are the symbols which we use for comparison. So greater than, obviously, if the left hand side is greater than the right hand side, it gives you true. If not, it gives you false. Like if I write 10 greater than 7, it is. So I'll get true. But if I write 5 greater than 7, I'll get false because it's not, right? Similar way, you have less than, then you have greater than or equal. So either it's greater or it's equal. So true, otherwise false. Less than or equal, either it's less or equal, it's true, otherwise false. Now the most important thing is this symbol. If you have to compare whether two values are same or not, whether two values are equal or not, you are going to put 2 times equal to sign, right? So one, it is important because obviously when you have to code, you should be very well aware that which symbol is used for what purpose. So double equal to sign is used for comparison, for comparing if two values are similar or not. And this exclamation equal to sign is not equal to sign. Now, why is it very important? It can be asked in the interview questions. It can also be asked in your exams, like what is the difference between a is equal to 7 or a is equal to 7? So this is assignment. You are creating a variable a in which we are storing 7. Here we are checking if a is 7 or not. It will give you true or false, right? Another thing is you might get a code already written and you are asked to find out the errors in the code. So they have given you a code and you're supposed to find out the error in the code. So you have to make sure that wherever equal to is being checked, it has to be double equal to sign. It cannot be a single equal to sign in comparisons. It is a syntax error. Syntax error means it's against the grammar of the language, right? So that's set of relational operators you have. Now, at times, I need to combine multiple conditions. So if I have to combine multiple conditions, we have logical operators for that. Now, logical operators are 3. We have not, and, or. You have to write them all in small letters. The keywords used for logical operators are in small letters, not and or. I have written it this way because that's their precedence. So if in one expression you have all of them, not is solved first. After not is solved, then and is solved. After and is solved, we solve or. Now, what is the purpose of not? Quite simple. If the condition is true, it will make it false. If it is false, it will make it true. So not 7 greater than 3 will give me false because 7 greater than 3 is true, but not will make it false. So it will just negate the result. If it's true, it will make it false. If it is false, it will make it true. Then I have and. Now, what is and? And is like you have two conditions and you want that both of those conditions must be true. So I want two conditions, and both conditions to be true for my final result. So I'm going to combine them with and. Like I want to give you scholarship if you have scored more than 90 either in physics. So no, sorry, not either. You have scored more than 90 in physics as well as in maths. So it is and. So physics greater than equal to 90 and maths greater than equal to 90. So I've got more than 90 in both of them. That's and. If any one of the condition is false, the whole result is false. If you have a situation where you say either of two, then obviously we're going to use or. So or means either this is true or this is true or both are true. It will be false only if both conditions are giving me false result. So if none of my conditions is true, my result is false. And this and will give you true only if both conditions are true. So we can use it with special statements like if, that we will be discussing later, that how to actually write the conditions and use them in the program, right? So this is your logical operators, relational operators, arithmetic operators. Other than that, we have assignment operators. Assignment operators, you've already used one operator, which is the equal to sign, single equal to sign. We write the variable name on the left hand side, value on the right hand side. So your variable is created. Other than that, we have some shorthands like plus equal to, multiply equal to, divide equal to, minus equal to, mod equal to. So these are basically shorthands for this reason. If I have to write sum is equal to sum plus value. Now just being lazy, I don't want to write it completely like this. I want to make it a bit shorter so I can write sum plus equal to value. So if I write it like this, I'm making it smaller. So sum is equal to sum plus value. Rather, I write sum plus equal to value. So this means first add value to the sum, whatever is the result, store it back in sum. So whatever is the result, it will be stored back over here in sum, right? So this is your shorthand assignment cum arithmetic operators, fine? Bitwise operators are there, but that you don't have to do as of now. We'll be discussing it later. But these are the basic operators you can use for doing calculations in your program. For example, if I have to write down a program to find simple interest. Now, what is simple interest? You get principal, rate, and time from the user, and then you calculate the simple interest and print the same, right? So formula for simple interest is P into R into T into P into R into T upon 100, right? So how are you going to make it? So you can write P is equal to int input enter principal amount. You can write rate of interest can be in points, so we can take float, enter rate of interest. Then we take time. Time can also be in points, like if the person is depositing for 18 months, so it will be 1.5 years. So enter time in years. And then SI, don't put dot inside it, dot is not allowed. P into R into T upon 100, print, we can write simple interest is SI. Save your program, execute your program. So principal amount is 20,000, rate of interest is 4.5, time is 2 years. This is the interest we will get, right? So likewise, you can create any program you want, fine? Sorry. So now what you're going to do is you're going to try a couple of programs of your own. So what you're going to do is you're going to write a program to input length and breadth of a rectangle and print its area and perimeter. So input length, breadth of a rectangle, calculate and print its area and perimeter. Input marks of a student in 5 subjects, calculate the total and the percentage marks and print the same. Okay, so try that out and post your answers in the comments below. And that is it for today. I hope the lesson was useful. If yes, so do click the like button, share it with all your friends, and please subscribe the channel. It's free of cost. So spread it, subscribe it, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Till then, keep watching, keep learning. Bye for now.